Hello guys and welcome to the complete guide for installing Flutter on Windows for Android application development. In this video we are going to be installing Flutter with VS Code. We will be also installing Android Studio. We will be also installing the emulator. So I'm going to tell you all the three things, and without wasting any further more time, let's get started. First of all, let's get the Flutter SDK from the website. So head to Google and search for Install Flutter. Then select your operating system which you are on. I'm on Windows. Now go ahead and download this SDK zip file. Also, you will need Git and PowerShell 5.0 if you don't have them. I'm downloading this zip file and just save it anywhere. Now, after installing this, if you want to check you have Git installed or not, you can simply open the command prompt and type in Git. If there is some error like this, as in my case, you should install Git. So I'm going to do that now. I'll download the Git and install it. Go to Git SCM. This is the official Git's website. I'm downloading it for Windows 64-bit Git Windows setup. I'll save it as well. Once it's downloaded, I'm just going to open the setup, hit next, and for the most part you can hit next on Git installation and it will just work fine. So I'm simply choosing the default settings, whichever are given, and moving on. So once this installation is complete, we can simply go close our older terminal, reopen a new one, and if you this time type Git, it should show you the Git commands. So if you have reached this state for Git installation, congrats, you have installed the Git. Now coming back to Flutter, your SDK must have been downloaded by now. Go ahead and extract this SDK into a folder which is convenient to you. I'm putting it in my D drive. Once your folder gets extracted, we can move on to some important steps. So opening back this installation page, you can see the next step given is updating your path. So what basically means is, wherever you have extracted Flutter, wherever your SDK is right now, for example, mine is in the D drive, just open the bin folder inside the Flutter SDK and copy the path. Simply copy the path to that and open start and it type environment variables. You should see a similar prompt like this. Go inside the path and add a new path. Paste the address which you have copied right now. Just follow along as I'm doing. Now if you type Flutter, you might need to restart the command prompt. Now if you install write this command where flutter dart, you should be able to see your given path. Both Flutter and Dart have been installed correctly, that means. Now you can run Flutter Doctor to see what all components does the framework need in order to work in. So in my case, there is Android toolchain missing, and second is Visual Studio. Visual Studio you will only require if you are going to develop applications for Windows, which I am not covering right now. I will be focusing on the Android part. Chrome you might already have it. Chrome is just a web browser, right? You can install it. So basically we can set it up easily for our Android and Chrome right now. Now in order to install this Android Studio, you simply need to go to its official web page and just hit download Android Studio. Whichever the latest version will be by the time you are watching this, just download that. And you might require a lot of internet right now, around 4 to 5 gigabytes for setting up the emulator and downloading all this. So keep that in mind. Now once it's downloaded, simply click on install. And once it's installed, you can simply start it. Now I don't want to import any settings, so we'll just hit OK. Hit next. Choose the standard installation. Hit next. And accept these licenses. One by one. Hit finish. And it should be downloading some components for you. Once it's done, simply hit finish. And here is the welcome page to our Android Studio. Here you can select a new project. Just select any template, give it some name, and hit finish. So here we have our new project ready. Just allow its access. Now search for these tools. Open the settings, and inside of this you can see your SDK tools. Now make sure that these command line tools are installed, Android SDK command line tools. Select this option and hit apply. It should automatically download and install these for you. These will be required for integrating the Flutter SDK with our VS Code. So hit apply. Once you do this, and now open the command prompt and type Flutter Doctor. There should be something changed. So you see our error has changed from last time. Now it does not say that there is no Android SDK. Now it is just saying that you need to accept some Android licenses and you are good to go. And it has also given you the command. So just copy the command from there. Paste it in the terminal itself and just hit Y for every license. Now if you run Flutter Doctor, these commands should also have been accepted, and you see Android toolchain has been successfully installed. Great, alright. Moving on, let's move to how to actually build a new project in our VS Code or Android Studio. You can do it in both of them, and also how to set up the emulator. So now we are going to move to that. Now working on with VS Code. So if I open the command palette using Ctrl+Shift+P, I saw the command for Flutter new project, but you might not see that. So go to extensions and type in Flutter. Install this Flutter extension. After installing this Flutter extension, this will automatically install the Dart extension as well for you. Now once you hit the Command-Shift+P and open a new application, it should be asking you to simply select your folder where your application should be. So I'll just select any folder in my directory. Okay, I already have Flutter projects. Cool. So you see, the most difficult part about coding always is how to name things. What to name things, right? Anyways, so I have named it test tab for now. So you see everything which you get in a standard template is here, and all our functions are also working correctly. All our SDKs are fine. Now in order to run this, you will require an emulator, right? You can run it on the web, but that's the easy thing, right? So I'll show you how to set up the emulator. Simply open this emulator tab in Android Studio and select a version. Select a device, select a version. I'm I'm selecting this Pixel 7 or 7 Pro. Now it will ask me the Android release name. So you can select any according to you. There are lots of versions given, Android versions. I'll just select this Tiramisu version and move on with this. Now, once you have this Android version also installed, you can select it simply and create a new virtual device. So here is my new Pixel 7 with API 33. I have simply hit run. It's opening in the new tab. But one issue I see here is that these devices are by default coming up in this Android Studio window. I don't want it like this. I want them to be popped out like in the earlier versions. So what I'll do, I'll just go to File, Settings. I'll search for, I'll go to Tools first. Select the emulator and launch in a tool. Launch the tool in a window. Just deselect this option and hit apply. Now if you open this device, I'll just close this emulator and reopen this. It should open as it used to, and it should not come inside this window. Kind of bothers me that it just opened in a little window. But that's fine. So yeah, here is the emulator as you all know it. It looks so much better like this. Okay, so I'm just minimizing this, and here almost most of the way there. Just a little config here and there left. So here is our emulator freshly running our Android Tiramisu on our Pixel 7. So I just selected this run without debugging option, since it has automatically detected that I have an Android emulator running. If it detects it this easily, just hit run and you should be good to go. For a local device, what you will need to do is you will need to go to developer settings and enable USB debugging in order for them to be recognized in this VS Code window. If you don't know how to do that, just Google it, how to enable USB debugging in your smartphone. So once this processing is done, it's running for the first time, right? So it might take some time. I skipped it simply. So here is our application, Flutter application running on our Android emulator with both VS Code and Android Studio installed in your device. So thank you for watching, and let's meet in the next one.